You know that feeling, right? You're constantly refreshing the tracking page, just waiting for a package that's already late. Well, today, we're going to dive into how AI is completely changing the game, turning that constant frustration into a problem that can actually be solved. So let's get into it. And it's a totally fair question. I mean, in a world where you can get almost anything instantly, why does getting a package you ordered still feel like you're just rolling the dice? Turns out it's a way more common problem than you'd probably guess. And this is the actual scale of that problem. A whopping 47% of orders don't make it by their promised delivery date. Think about that for a second. That's nearly 1 out of every 2 orders. This isn't a small glitch, it's a massive systemic issue. Now, what's really wild is the ripple effect. We're not just talking about minor annoyances here. A single late order can cause customer satisfaction to plummet by 34%, and the average delay is more than 2 full days. This is about trust, it's about reputation, and it definitely hits the bottom line. So this right here, this is the heart of the issue. The old way of managing orders is always looking in the rearview mirror. These systems only react to a problem, like a missed deadline or a snag in production, after it's already happened. And by then, you're just doing damage control. But what if you could see the problem coming and fix it before it even becomes one? That's the huge shift we're talking about, going from being reactive to being truly predictive. Let's take a look at the engine that actually makes this happen. Okay, so this is the AI Next Layer platform. You can think of this 3-layer structure as the brains of the whole operation. It's designed specifically to pull in tons of data from all over the place, make sense of it, and then, and this is the key, trigger smart, proactive actions in the systems you already use. So how does it really work day to day? Well, it can start with something as simple as a question from a user. The AI immediately figures out what's being asked, pulls all the data it needs, and talks directly to the core business systems to get something done. Then, boom, the results come right back to the user. It's a complete, seamless loop from question to action. And this is what's so powerful. Look at all the different streams of information the AI is constantly watching in real time. It's not just checking on one thing. It's weaving together production schedules, carrier data, what your suppliers are doing, and even outside stuff like weather reports and traffic patterns to build this incredibly complete picture of the entire supply chain. All right, so that's the theory, but let's make this really concrete. We're going to follow the journey of one single order to see exactly how this proactive system works out in the real world. So here it is, order SO5634. Now, to any normal system, this order looks perfectly fine. But the AI has already crunched all those data points in the background and has flagged it early on as having a high risk of being late. The alarm bell is ringing before there's even a fire. And the AI doesn't just say, hey, there's a problem. It tells you exactly what the problem is. This chart breaks it down for us. That 78% risk score comes from a mix of things: a potential bottleneck in production, a known material shortage from a key supplier, and even predicted traffic jams on the shipping route. Suddenly, the problem is defined and it's measurable. Now, this is where it gets really amazing. The AI doesn't just point out the issue, it actually gives you clear, actionable solutions. Should you split the shipment? It'll cost more, but the customer gets part of their order on time. Or should you reschedule and let the customer know ahead of time? The system lays out the pros and cons so a person can make the best strategic call. And the speed is just unbelievable. Once a decision was made, it took the AI just 47 seconds to coordinate that change across 5 different systems. I mean, that's a process that would have taken a real person hours of phone calls and emails to sort out. So, what was the result? The potential delay was just gone. The problem was solved before the customer even had a clue there was an issue. And just look at that satisfaction score, a 4.8 out of 5. That's the real power of getting ahead of the problem. Okay, so that was just one order. Now let's zoom out. When you take that one success and multiply it across an entire organization, you completely change the game. You're moving your whole operation from a state of constant chaos to one of predictable control. The impact when you do this at scale is just staggering. First off, the on-time delivery rate just skyrockets, all the way up to 97.3%. And that directly translates into real money. Over $127,000 in savings every quarter just by getting rid of all those expensive last-minute rush shipping fees. And overall, a massive 85% drop in the total number of orders that are delayed.
This system isn't just fixing problems anymore, it's stopping them from ever happening to begin with.
When you put it all together, these numbers create some serious strategic advantages. You get operational excellence by saving literally thousands of hours of work. You build an amazing customer experience that leads to incredible loyalty and retention. And you create this huge competitive advantage because you're offering a level of proactive service your competitors just can't touch.
So it kind of leaves you with this one big thought. We've just seen how AI can bring this insane level of predictability to something as messy and chaotic as a global supply chain. It really makes you wonder, what other seemingly impossible everyday problems is it going to solve next?